how are they going to get control? First, they have to have the infrastructure that's being built, but then you also have to have the politics in line. And you have stories like this one where the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, John Major, you remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He was a major goofball. But he he was under oath and admitted that he was under the pressure of people in the press. The press, it's not a free press, folks. It is a controlled press. And even Fox News is controlled. The question isn't whether they want a new world order. The question is who's going to be the big cheese. There's too many chiefs. That's what God has used to keep the new world order from happening. Is that right now there are too many chiefs. And of course that's when the Bible says there will come a time when a man will rise up and he'll take control. But until then, the chiefs are nitpicking each other. And that's just the story that talks about that. And I want to show you this in Psalm 2 if you want to turn there. Psalm 2. I openly admit to you, I always do it, I am a conspiracy theorist. I believe in conspiracies. I don't believe every conspiracy. But if you don't believe in conspiracies, I'm here to tell you tonight, you don't believe the Bible.
And you think the devil's asleep.
And the devil's, yeah, he's not real, he's mythical or something. Right. The Bible is clear, and this is just one example, one passage of the reality of conspiracies. And in Psalm 2, he starts by saying, why do the heathen rage? Now look at the second half of the verse. And the people imagine a vain thing. That is a conspiracy. Read verse 2. The kings of the earth, the United Nations, set themselves. And look what happens. And the rulers take counsel together. That's secret. And that's a conspiracy. Against the Lord. If you don't think that's true, you don't know a thing about the United Nations. Bilderberg, Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, all these boogeymen. What? Illuminati. That's all like all-encompassing of what all the people in these groups are Illuminati. But you're a kook. Yeah. You bunch of nuts. Because you believe in that stuff. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. All those people are involved in the ecumenical movement, which is involved in the whole conspiracy. Because a one world government goes hand in hand with a one world religion. The Benjamin Crane, Robert Mueller, who's the United States ambassador to the UN, and numerous other people have made those calls. They've even taken full-page ads out in New York Times and USA Today calling on this man to come forward, begging him.
That was creepy.
Yeah. But that's wild when you're not, just hanging out and all of a sudden you're like...
Really freaked our roommate out. Well, maybe you want to think about Jesus now.
But I want you to remember Psalm 2 the next time you're called a kook. You just turn there and say, listen, do you believe the Bible? Yeah, it's all through the Psalms.
Well, logic and reason's got nothing to do with it. You can't even argue with it.
You're exactly right.
Oh, they can't wait to be deceived.
The only question,
the
only question you can ask them is you just say, what do you suppose hell's going to look like?
Yeah. That's sad but true. So that's where we stand with all this economic news. Is that in order to put this in effect, there has to be an economic collapse. Yeah. Ask yourself why. Name the the murderous dictator, and I can tell you that economic depression brought him to power.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Every time. We have economic sentiment gets even gloomier as jobs decelerate. They keep talking about how many jobs they're creating. What they leave out is that they're creating jobs that are minimum wage and they're not creating as many as they're losing, so there's a net loss. People...
You don't have a choice for an election.
It's like Carl said, you can't talk to them.
No.
Like, what Thomas says is absolutely true. I've talked to these people and I tell you, they hate God.
Amen.
They wouldn't say it because they don't hate God, small g.
Yeah.
They'll go right with you and saying, God bless America, but they're not talking about the God of the Bible. The holy, just God isn't the God they love. So you be very careful. I'm not saying it's wrong to sing those songs, There's nothing wrong with God. I would love to see God bless this nation with a revival.
It needs it.
But
God's rival gods.
that's right. The gods of this world, that's why I talked about Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh and these guys. They are good for information once in a while, but let me tell you, they do not worship the God of the Bible. And Glenn Beck has said, when Da Vinci came out, he says, it doesn't matter to me whether Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene or not. It doesn't affect me one bit. He's a Mormon. Yeah. But you have that kind of news. You have, this is today's papers, folks. I just bought these. This is today. Threat spreads across Europe. Okay, we've already got, let me read you a quote. Borrowing costs for Italy and Spain continued to surge on Tuesday. This was Today reporting yesterday. Escalating calls, listen to this, for bigger steps from Eurozone leaders, that's the European Union, amid a new warning that came out today that the crisis is dragging down even the world's resilient emerging economies.
Nigel Farage said that he's expecting a dictator to come out of this.
Yes. Yeah, say his name again.
Nigel Farage.
Keep your ear out for that guy.
Yeah,
He's one of the one and only European Parliament voices that is stand up. I mean, that guy's unreal. He's going to get shot in the head. I hope he's saved because he's crazy. He stand up, just tells them, man, it's unreal. If you just Google, I don't know how you spell it. Thomas can probably tell you, but Google it or YouTube it or whatever and find the
He
videos.
stands in front of the European Central Bank Committee and just addresses them down. Right in front of
I mean, it's unreal.
It is. I'm surprised he's not dead.
Yes, me too. It's another. He says, in line of what I just said. Meanwhile, the World Bank forecast another pullback for global growth this year. We are being told the economy's getting better. Economy's getting better. No, if you go past the headline news and you get Wall Street Journal is one of the few papers where you still get some truth. And I recommend that you don't believe everything as far as a lot of things. But when they're talking just the economic facts, that's a source I recommend.